The message came at 4:17 p.m. Dad, dinner's cancelled tonight. Mom's not feeling well. We'll do it another time. I stared at my phone longer than I should have. Cancelled? That word shouldn't have hurt. It was just a dinner, just a family meal. But something about the way he said it, so quick, so final, left a quiet ache in my chest. I typed back, "Okay, tell your mother I hope she feels better." He didn't reply. I tried to shake it off. I told myself I was overthinking again. Ever since the divorce, everything felt heavier than it used to. Conversations ended faster. Invitations came later, if they came at all. I had learned to accept that my place in the family had shifted. Still, I'd already bought the dessert. A small box from the bakery near my apartment. Lemon tart, my ex-wife's favorite. Old habits die hard, I guess. I stood in my kitchen holding that box, feeling ridiculous, then sad, then quietly angry at myself for feeling sad at all. I almost threw it away. Almost. Instead, I told myself I'd just stop by. 5 minutes. Drop the dessert at the door, wish her well, and leave. No pressure, no awkwardness. I didn't announce myself. I parked down the street like I used to, under the old jacaranda tree. The house looked warm, lights on, curtains half drawn, too warm for a cancelled dinner. I should have left then. But I didn't. As I walked up the driveway, I heard it. Laughter. Not weak, sick laughter, real laughter, the kind that fills a room and spills out through open windows. My hand froze on the gate. Inside, plates clinked, glasses tapped together. Someone said, "Pass the bread." I knew that voice. My son. I stood there, the dessert box suddenly heavy in my hands, my heart thudding like it was trying to warn me. I took a few more steps. Through the dining room window, I saw them. My ex-wife at the head of the table, smiling, my son to her right, my daughter across from him, and beside my ex-wife, too close, sat a man I didn't recognize, laughing like he belonged there. 4 plates. 4 chairs. No empty seat. No place for me. They weren't just eating. They were celebrating. I don't know how long I stood there. Seconds, probably. It felt like minutes, like years. My first instinct was anger. Hot, sharp, immediate. They lied. My second was humiliation. The kind that makes your stomach drop and your face burn even though no one's watching. But underneath all that was something worse. Grief. Because in that moment, I realized this wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a choice. I stepped back into the shadows before anyone could see me. My son looked so relaxed, so comfortable, like this was normal, like I hadn't existed in this house for years. I turned around and walked back to my car. I didn't slam the door, I didn't cry. I just sat there, holding the steering wheel, staring at the dashboard like it might explain how I became the man no one bothered to include anymore. On the drive home, memories kept ambushing me. Teaching my son how to ride a bike in that same driveway, burning dinners while my ex-wife laughed and ordered pizza, family birthdays where we squeezed around that same table, complaining it was too small. When did I become optional? When did I become inconvenient? That night, my son finally texted me. "Sorry, Dad, things got complicated." Complicated. I didn't reply. Not because I wanted to punish him, but because I didn't trust myself to say anything that wouldn't reveal how deeply it hurt. The next few days passed quietly, too quietly, no calls, no follow-ups. Life moved on without me, and that realization settled into my bones. A week later, my daughter called. "Dad, can we talk?" Her voice sounded different, careful. We met at a coffee shop halfway between our places. She didn't waste time. "I didn't know Mom told you dinner was cancelled," she said, staring into her cup. "I thought you said you couldn't come." There it was. The truth always arrives late, doesn't it? "So it wasn't cancelled?" I asked gently. She shook her head. "Mom didn't want things to be awkward. She said it would be easier if you weren't there." Easier? For who? I asked. She didn't answer. After a long pause, she added, "The man you saw, his name's Richard. They've been seeing each other for a while. Mom wanted to make it official." Official? I nodded slowly, and my son. He didn't want to upset her. That one hurt more than the rest. Because I'd spent my whole life trying not to upset anyone, and somehow I still ended up outside the window, watching my family eat without me. I paid for the coffee and stood to leave. My daughter grabbed my hand. "I'm sorry, Dad," she said, and this time I believed her. That night I made a decision. Not a dramatic one, no confrontations, no angry speeches. Just clarity. I stopped waiting to be invited into places where I wasn't wanted. I focused on rebuilding my life, not as someone's ex-husband, not as a backup parent, but as myself. I reconnected with old friends, took up cooking again, even if it was just for one, learned to enjoy quiet evenings without wondering who was laughing without me. Months passed. Then one evening, my son showed up at my apartment unannounced. He looked nervous, older somehow. "Dad, can we have dinner?" he asked. I studied his face, the boy I taught to ride a bike, the man who once chose silence over honesty. "Sure," I said, "but this time, let's make sure everyone who's supposed to be there knows." He smiled, embarrassed. "Yeah, that's fair." As we ate, just the two of us, I realized something important. Being left out broke me. But it also freed me. Because love that requires you to disappear isn't love worth begging for. And sometimes, the most painful dinners are the ones you're never invited to, because they teach you exactly where you stand and where you need to go next.